Greetings, fellow time travelers. Welcome back to Ancient Mystery, where we uncover the hidden mysteries of lost civilizations and dive deep into the secrets that shaped our world. I'm your archaeological guide, ready to take you on another mind-bending journey through the corridors of time. Today we're traveling to Greece, a land where ancient ruins tell stories that books simply cannot capture. But here's what will absolutely blow your mind. Some of these structures were built on cliffs so impossibly steep that no modern road could ever reach them. They were built purely for faith, for devotion, for connection with the divine. Others lie forgotten on remote mountain slopes where silence has replaced the prayers of thousands. And here's the mystery that has baffled archaeologists for centuries. These monuments were constructed so flawlessly with such engineering precision that after more than 2,000 years, they still stand worthy of the gods themselves. Before we unveil these incredible secrets, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. Trust me, you don't want to miss the ancient mysteries we're about to reveal. Building the mystery. Picture this. You're walking through streets that were planned 2,400 years ago. Not ruins of streets, not remnants, but actual city plans that still make perfect sense today. How is that even possible? Ancient Messene is one of the best preserved examples of urban planning from the 4th century before Christ. But what makes this place truly extraordinary is what we're about to discover. The Sanctuary of Asclepius, where medicine met miracles. Pay close attention to this fascinating detail. This wasn't just a temple, it was both a religious sanctuary and a medical center. Imagine ancient Greeks combining faith healing with actual medical practice in one magnificent structure. The sanctuary featured a wide colonnaded courtyard where patients would come seeking cures from Asclepius, the god of medicine. But here's what recent archaeological analysis has revealed. They weren't just praying for miracles, they were receiving actual medical treatment. The propylon served as the monumental gateway to this sanctuary. With its triple-arched entrance and elegant Doric-style columns, it announced to every visitor, "You are entering sacred ground where body and soul can be healed." The ecclesiasterion democracy meets music. Now let's move to one of Messene's most intriguing multifunctional buildings. The Odeon, later renamed the ecclesiasterion, tells us something incredible about ancient Greek society. This semicircular structure hosted council meetings where democracy was practiced. But when politics ended, music began. The same seats that held politicians during the day welcomed audiences for musical performances at night. How's that for efficient architecture? The stadium where heroes were made. Here's a number that will absolutely amaze you. 7,000 to 9,000 spectators. That's how many people could sit in Messene Stadium, built in the 3rd century before Christ. The semicircular stone seating rows created an atmosphere so electric you could almost feel the excitement of ancient athletic competitions even today. But wait, there's more to this story. Right beside the stadium stood the palestra, where young athletes underwent intense training in wrestling and physical exercise. Before entering the stadium for competition, athletes went through rigorous preparation in this training ground. The propylon serving as the entrance to the training area reflected ancient grandeur with its elegant Doric columns. Every detail was designed to inspire excellence. The Scythiad Mausoleum, Monument of Eternity. Rising beside the stadium, we find something truly special, the Scythiad Mausoleum. This 4-column structure served as the eternal resting place for members of a distinguished noble family during the 1st through 3rd centuries. But here's what makes this family remarkable. During the Roman period, members of this family had served in the highest offices imaginable, priesthood in Achaia, and even provincial governorship. They weren't just wealthy, they were powerful influences of their time. The theater, where drama met reality. Built in the 3rd to 2nd centuries before Christ as a Hellenistic structure, the theater of Messene offered something extraordinary. Massive rows of seats that provided breathtaking views over the Acropolis. Imagine sitting there 2,200 years ago, watching a Greek tragedy unfold while the sun set over the mountains.
The same view that ancient Greeks enjoyed is still there, waiting for modern explorers to discover. Ancient Messene remains one of the best-planned cities of the ancient world. Its genius lies not just in individual buildings, but in how everything connects: medicine and religion, athletics and politics, art and daily life.
The mystery of the cliffs. Now, we're about to explore something completely different. Get ready for this. A monastery built directly into solid rock. We're talking about Holy Kipina Monastery, a unique Byzantine structure dated to the 13th century. But here's the puzzling question that archaeologists ask. Why would monks choose such an extreme location? What were they seeking in these remote cliffs? The architecture of invisibility. This modest stone-walled passage is the peaceful gateway to Kipina Monastery. As you approach, something extraordinary happens. The monastery has chosen to integrate with nature rather than clash with it. The structure has blended with the surrounding rocks to a point where it becomes almost invisible. You could walk right past it without noticing. This wasn't an accident. This was deliberate architectural philosophy. The philosophy of darkness. Here's something that will surprise modern visitors. The worship rooms were deliberately kept unlit. No windows, no artificial lighting, pure darkness. Why? Because these monks were seeking deep meditation and complete solitude. They believed that in darkness the soul could see more clearly. The absence of light became a path to enlightenment. The use of color in the frescoes reflects the religious understanding and aesthetic taste of the Byzantine period. Despite centuries of exposure to harsh mountain conditions, these paintings still speak to us about faith, devotion, and artistic mastery. The accommodation areas were specifically designated for the monks' sleep, meals, and worship. Every square meter had a purpose. Nothing was wasted. For travelers seeking silence, Kipina Monastery remains a unique spiritual refuge, a place where time seems to have stopped in the 13th century.
Ancient seekers and mystery hunters, prepare yourselves. We're about to enter a palace with 4,000 years of history, one of the most magnificent structures on the island of Crete.
But here's what will blow your mind. This palace complex hosts the most vibrant, most colourful frescoes of the entire Minoan civilization, and they've survived for millennia.
The Prince of the Lilies, symbol of power. One of the palace's most striking frescoes is known as the Prince of the Lilies. It depicts a young male figure instantly recognized by his crown, made entirely of lilies. But who was this prince? Was he royalty, a priest, a god? This mystery continues to puzzle archaeologists today. The throne room, seat of divine authority. The throne room is one of the most magnificent and symbolic sections of Knossos Palace. Pay attention to this incredible detail. The tall backrest behind the throne is interpreted as a symbol of both leadership and sacred authority. This wasn't just furniture. This was a statement of divine power. This stone basin nearby served a ritual purpose. It was used for purification ceremonies before important state functions. And look at those walls. The griffin fresco decorating them stand out as mythical guardians watching over the ruler with eternal vigilance. The Grand Staircase, engineering marvel. The Grand Staircase section of Knossos displays the palace's multi-level layout with extraordinary elegance. Remember, this was built around 1,600 years before Christ, and yet the engineering principles are still sound today. The cupbearer ceremony immortalized. One of the best preserved frescoes in the palace is the cupbearer figure, noted for its incredibly vivid colors that seem painted yesterday, not 3,600 years ago. The figure with long flowing hair and elegant clothing represents a ceremonial procession. But what ceremony? What ritual was so important that it needed to be immortalized in art? The dolphin fresco, colors that conquered time. The dolphin fresco is one of the finest examples reflecting ancient Mediterranean marine life. Dated to the 1600s before Christ, this fresco has survived to the present day with its original colors intact. How did the Minoans create pigments that could last 4,000 years? This is another mystery that modern scientists are still trying to solve. The storage giants. These massive clay jars were the largest storage vessels of the Minoan palace. They were used to store grain, olive oil, wine, and dried foods. Here's an amazing number. Some of these jars could hold over 200 liters. That's ancient industrial-scale food storage technology. The ladies in blue windows into Minoan society. Ah, the famous ladies in blue fresco. What a sight it is. It depicts 3 elegant women with curly hair, their heads beautifully decorated, and their garments showcasing authentic Minoan fashion. You know what this tells us is truly fascinating. Minoan women enjoyed a high social status, wore sophisticated clothing, and participated in important cultural ceremonies. This civilization was far more progressive than many that came centuries later.
The ultimate military mystery. Fellow time detectives, we're now climbing to one of the most strategically important fortresses in all of Greek history. This area bears very old traces of settlement. We're talking about structures from the period before Christ. But here's the military mystery. This multi-layered defensive structure contains 3 main gates. Why 3? Let's investigate. The triple gate defense system. The first gate is the initial line of defense at the outermost part of the fortress. Before you even reach it, there's a defensive ditch dug specifically to slow down attacking enemies. Cavalry charges become impossible. Infantry has to funnel into narrow passages. The second gate narrows the passage even further, strengthening the defense. By this point, attackers are trapped in a killing zone with defenders firing from above. The third gate is the final obstacle that opens into the inner fortress at the summit. If you made it this far as an attacker, you'd already paid a terrible price. This wasn't just architecture. This was military genius carved in stone. The Frankish Tower. Eyes that never sleep. The square tower at the top of the fortress is known as the Frankish Tower. This structure was built during the Frankish rule between the 13th and 15th centuries. From this vantage point, defenders could observe everything: the Corinthian plain spreading below, the Gulf sparkling in the distance, and all the northern mountain passes. Nothing moved without being seen from this tower. A museum of civilizations. Remains of an Ottoman-era mosque can still be seen inside the fortress today, reminding us that this strategic location changed hands multiple times throughout history. Each civilization that controlled Acrocorinth left its mark. The result: a fortress that's actually a museum of Mediterranean military architecture. For travelers interested in history, Acrocorinth is a must-see stop. The climb is challenging, but the panoramic views and layers of history make every step worthwhile.
Yes, absolutely. Every stone here tells a story, and those stories are honestly what keep people coming back. Fellow time travellers, we've just completed an extraordinary archaeological journey through ancient Greece.
From the perfectly planned city of Messene to the invisible monastery of Kipina, from the vibrant palace of Knossos to the impregnable fortress of Acrocorinth, each site has revealed secrets that connect us to our shared human heritage.
But here's the question that remains. How did ancient civilizations achieve such architectural perfection without modern technology?
How did they create structures that still inspire